Welcome to episode 211 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Matt Bowden.
Oh, thank you for having me today.
Ooh.
And Dan Reamer.
Look what he did there, Matt. He put you first.
Nice. Now, that's the kind of change I like.
Yeah, by the way, you don't deserve that, just so you know.
He was caught off guard taking a drink of coffee. I couldn't think of a better time.
Uh-huh.
You don't deserve it.
It was fine. You would have never known.
Unearned.
Unearned. Come on.
Full disclosure, I had some NyQuil too late last night, and I just messed up the order.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
It wasn't on purpose, yeah.
Yeah.
You still got
crazy
cobwebs
because of that NyQuil.
Still got some cobwebs in the head.
Oh, yeah, it's totally covered.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what I'll say this podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Those are my
Please
favorites.
don't email in and correct anything I say. I didn't know better.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I did before the NyQuil started. I played I Am Bread last night.
How is that? I almost bought it.
It made me want to drink NyQuil.
Okay. All right. Because
It's so fucking hard to control.
The trailers say it's a fantastic video game.
It is, but you know, it's the guys that made Surgeon Simulator.
Okay. Got it.
The Bossa Studios, whatever it is.
Right. So.
Kielbasa Studios.
Ooh.
That's it. Nailed it.
So it controls to the level of Surgeon Simulator.
So not
Got
well
it.
at all.
It's on purpose, but damn, it's hard to control. And you're a piece of bread. You're trying to toast yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And each level has a new way to do that. So the first level is pretty straightforward. You have to get to a toaster. The second level, though, you have to go to a heater in the room, turn the heater on, and then slap yourself to the front of it. And,
That sounds hard to do without opposable thumbs.
Right. You control the corners of the piece of bread. And
with
you can
the
grab
shoulders.
Yeah, with the shoulder buttons.
Okay.
So you have to walk. You have to like L1, R1, L2, R2, and that's fine until you get turned a little bit. Now you're having to fucking change your buttons up or try to realign yourself. And the whole idea is that you want to stay as edible as possible.
Well, then you shouldn't be walking across the ground.
Well, the ground is bad. The ground will make you fail. You got to stay off the floor, and then you don't want to crawl across like broken glass or ants or anything like that. But sometimes you have to. I had to roll through a pile of ants last night and have a choice.
Right.
And everything you touch pretty much shatters. So if you hit a glass bottle, it just shatters. So then you roll through glass.
That sounds awesome.
It's a great idea. It's just so frustrating. The thing they do is after like 3 or 4 fails, they just give you a invincibility. You have unlimited grip time and unlimited edibility, and you can just walk over there on the floor.
Yeah.
And so far, that's how I've beat both levels.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I wasn't able to beat either level without that.
I feel like if you don't beat the first level, you're going to have a hard time with the latter levels.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, it's progressing, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So immediately I have the problem of not knowing how to get better. Mm-hmm. Like, I played enough that I should have started developing some sort of skill, and it didn't happen.
Right.
So I'm afraid I'm going to beat every level of this game using that invincibility thing.
Don't be afraid of that.
It looks like a piece of butter, also. I can't tell what it is.
The bread or the invincibility?
The invincibility.
Oh, it's definitely butter.
Yeah,
it's right there at the start, too. You don't have to go get it. It's just beside you.
That's awesome.
Roll into it if you want. Don't.
It reminds me, to me, I Am Bread sounds a lot like this gym that I've played this week, but with a lot more frustration. Cat Lateral Damage is fantastic. I know we've talked about it before. I think you bought it but haven't played it yet.
Right.
This game it's fantastic. Simple. Nothing going on. You get in the litter box and play around. You play with cat toys. You knock shit over. Talked about it last week. Fantastic game. You should play that. You should play that in VR instead of I Am Bread. I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to check it out. I believe the answer is yes.
I thought I Am Bread seems like the kind of game that I wanted to grab some trophies in until I played it.
Really?
It's one of those.
It's just...
Are they tough, or are they just...
I don't know. I didn't even look at them. I can't figure out how to fucking play the game. Even if it has a platinum, it seems like I'm not going to be able to get it.
Cat Lateral Damage has a platinum. The trophies are pretty simple, like knock over 1,000 objects, knock over 5,000, knock over 20,000, which sounds like a lot until you've seen the game. Think like Katamari Damacy, like they line up 500 cupcakes on a shelf and you just knock them over real fast.
See, I Am Bread has a Katamari feel.
Yeah.
In that you're you're limited to like how you can travel. And then when you're clinging to something, you have grip strength, so you can't stay like hanging on forever.
Man, very Metal Gear 2.
You have to get down, let your grip strength recharge, and then you can go again.
Sounds
Yeah,
stupid.
it's just like Metal Gear, right?
It sounds just like Metal Gear 2.
Yeah.
Except for your piece of bread.
With an iPad.
Let me clarify. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Your bread
It was
snake.
yeah, bread snake. Solid bread snake.
I like that. That
Wheat
sounds
bread
good.
snake. I think I'm a whole grain right now. I'm not really sure.
Oh, you don't get to choose your slice of bread?
You do, but I think it's later in life.
Oh, you
Gotcha.
should be. I want to be pumpernickel rye if I ever play
I
it.
want to be some kind of like artisan cranberry 7 grain,
I don't even know
Solid
what that
baguette. But I don't know how you get there.
like cinnamon raisin swirl bread.
I think there's multiplayer.
What?
I think
On
you
the
can bread
network
off.
or
There's a
on
bread
the
off,
couch?
yeah.
There's a bread off?
I mean, it's not called that, but yeah.
If I'd have known you were getting it, man, you should have told me it was cheap on that
I
sale.
told everybody.
Didn't take it seriously.
Well, I can't help that. I scooped that up in the Lego Hobbit Harry Potter. Wait, Lego Hobbit,
Lego
Not-
Hobbit.
not Harry Potter.
Those things aren't
Did I
the
ever
same.
said Harry Potter? Matt was playing Harry Potter last night.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, Ricky was
I just
playing Harry
eased
Potter.
off of that and just
Yeah.
let it go.
I got the Hobbit because it was $5
Gotcha.
also.
Yeah.
Well, I picked up Titanfall 2 on the PS4.
yeah.
not $5.
Congratulations.
No, but I got the deluxe edition for half off. So I got it for $40. I wasn't upset by that. What I am upset by is that I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah, that is a screaming deal. I'm staring at it right now. I thought
Were
maybe
you
I'd
too
play
busy with real
you.
life?
What's that?
You too busy with real life?
Yeah,
No, that's no good.
real life.
No good at all. Matt, you picked up another game.
Yeah, I grabbed Resident Evil 7 this week. And I've been tweeting about it on the Twitter account at game_stitch. So if you're not following us there, make sure that you are. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to give too much away. So what I do want to do is kind of like squash the doubts of anybody who wasn't sure about Resident Evil 7 or having a first-person Resident Evil. This game is like AAA gold. This thing's fantastic. It is a brand new experience in first person, but it is 100% a throwback to Resident Evil 1 and 2. They have, like, when you first start playing it, it's very PT and Outlast, and you get this, like, it's pretty, and there's not a lot of story. They give you a little bit of an intro, and then you jump right in, which is very Resident Evil, but also very new survival horror style, right? You get a couple of jump scares, you jump into the house, and then it doesn't really hit you that you're playing Resident Evil till the puzzles start. And, like, the first puzzle is to get the 3... There's a door that has a dog. It's missing the 3 dog heads. You go get the 3 dog heads from doing different areas. You put them in, that unlocks the door. It is very, very, very Resident Evil. But the first-person scare thing make it modern. Even the story, it's got that quirky, like, B-style horror Resident Evil thing. So if you liked... This is going to sound weird because I did not like Until Dawn, but if you thought that was a good horror game, you will probably like Resident Evil 7 more than you have the other Resident Evils, because even in it being a serious story, like serious things are happening, certain things don't take themselves too seriously. And I teased this on the Twitter earlier this week. I wanted to talk about the one thing I don't like about this game so far. And it happens really early in the game, and this is one of those things that kind of, to me, kind of leans a little bit Until Dawn. You get your hand cut off with a chainsaw, and it's an unavoidable cutscene. It happens in like the first 10 minutes of the game. You're getting attacked, and your hand gets cut off with a chainsaw, and then they knock you out, and the person who attacked you, like you're going through a mini cutscene, and you show up to dinner with the Baker family, which everybody's seen from the trailer. But what they do is they staple your hand back on, and then your hand functions like normal for the rest of the game. It can, like, do all this stuff, right? It's explained later how that happens, but you can also get your leg cut off shortly after that, and then it just gets reattached without staples, and it still works, and you still walk. So there's stuff like that that's very like B-style Evil Dead horror, but it very much works. The game's fantastic. It's beautiful. It looks great. I haven't played it in VR. I hear the screen door effect in VR is a little bit jarring, but because of it being in first person and because of how shocking the game is, how the jump scares can get you, and how you like the environment really plays such a big part, you kind of lose that screen door effect pretty quick, even as jarring as it is. If you have any interest in the game, you should go buy it. You should play it. If you have any doubts about whether or not you should play the game, go get it and play it. It's fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. And if you have VR, go get it, because I've got a feeling this should be the flagship VR title.
I want to play it in VR, but I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid, man. It's fun.
I'm not afraid it's bad. I'm afraid I'll be scared.
Oh, you will be scared, but it's like...
I don't like being scared.
The being scared is quickly followed by, like, laughing. Like, there's usually something that happens right after that that's just funny enough to kind of, like, get you back into it.
Because it's not in your face. I'm going to be there.
I mean, it's probably true, but...
I'm sure that you'll still laugh after, but I'm sure the scare factor is enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if my heart can handle that.
Yeah, but the game has enough... Like, the scares are spaced out in nice. Like, you don't get scared and scared and scared and scared and scared. You get scared, and then you have enough time to be, like, excited and scared and move through the puzzle. And then right about the time that you calm down again and you think you're safe, then you'll get another quick jolt. Like, it's not constant.
Do you think just being there, the whole vibe would creep you out, though?
Oh, 100%. I mean, playing it not in VR, the environment and the sounds, and like that's what creeps you out the most. It's not when you're being attacked and scared because you're seeing like this monster for the first time or this person's after you, which is definitely the best part of the game. But the environment creeps you out. You'll be walking down the hall, and then you'll hear footsteps in the floor above you, like on the upstairs. That. Yeah, and that's creepy. Or, like, you'll pass by a kitchen, and then you'll hear, like, cabinet doors shut, and you go back and look, and there's nobody there.
Well, problem number one, you don't go back.
Yeah, so...
I hear cabinet doors, I just keep walking.
Like, part of that's working against you, but part of it is, like, you'll be walking through the environment, and you'll kick something that you didn't realize that you could kick, and that'll scare the shit out of you, too. Like, you'll hit a chair, and it'll fall over.
The game allows you to scare yourself.
Yeah, very much. Like, it's in here. Like, it's all in your head about how scared you're getting. And then there are these super suspenseful moments where somebody who you definitely are not meant to stand toe-to-toe with will be chasing you, and you kind of need to go hide. So you play this game of hide-and-seek for a little while. It's real fun. And it's very scary because they'll get very close, you know, just about every time they get real close, and you get that kind of butthole clench suspense thing. Man, I can't recommend this game enough. Resident Evil 1 and 2 are two of my favorite games of all time, and this game is easily as good, if not better. It's one of, if it's not the best Resident Evil game ever, it's in the top 3. It puts the rest of them to shame. It's very good. Very good.
I'm interested. I want to see if I can grab it in like a red box or something. And I don't mind going and buying the full game. I just want to make sure that I can tolerate it in VR before I pop on it.
Yeah. Because I don't see you playing it not in VR because it's first person, and it's very shaky. So if you're not in VR, I can imagine you getting sick.
Yeah, if I want to play, if I'm going to play it, I want to play it in VR.
Yeah.
But I just got to make sure it's something that is fun. I'm not so scared. Yeah, I don't like scary things. I think I said it before when we talked about Until Dawn. Like, that game was the right balance of goofy and scary to me.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid anything more extreme. And had I been in VR for Until Dawn, it probably would have creeped me out more, too. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a comfortable experience.
I think you'll have a good time, but that's just me.
But I do want to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in it at all.
Are you done? Is it the franchise, or is it just this one?
Resident Evil 1 I always enjoyed because it was the first of its kind. The subsequent games after that has always felt kind of played out to me. it doesn't help that it's in first person. We know I'm not huge on first person there. I can tolerate it sometimes. I don't have an interest in a first person Resident Evil. I don't know. Zombies has played out to me. That whole idea of zombies and the virus and all that stuff.
So far, no zombies, if that makes you feel better.
Is played out. I just don't know that it's definitely not worth $60 for me.
Yeah.
I can't say at some point that I won't try it out. But like 5 was okay. 4 was okay. Code Veronica was okay. But
You're naming all the good ones.
What's that?
You're naming all the good ones. 1, 2, 4, 5, Veronica, 0.
1, 2, Veronica, and 7 are the only ones that really count. And Remake and 0 are really good.
5 is good.
5 and 4. Let's be 5, 4, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. Let's be very clear. Not Resident Evil games. Those are action games that use the Resident Evil characters.
I don't like 6.
6 was bad. 5 was a fully playable game and it was good, but it wasn't Resident Evil.
No, I'm sure it is. It says it on the case.
6 I didn't. Yeah. I think I played 5. I've played the ones before that, but I wasn't ever overly impressed with the stories and the controls. I played through them because at that time zombies were cool, or the idea of Resident Evil was cool. I don't really feel that way anymore. I don't know if it's just that Resident Evil is played out, or I'm sick of the story. I know first person is not, for me personally, is not a push to go back and explore the franchise.
I think you would be if you have any ties to the original games and those are what are hanging you up. I think that you'd be okay because even though it ties to the original games, so Resident Evil 7 is its own thing and it exists on its own if you've never played them before. It's a reboot of the series if you've never played Resident Evil before. If you've played Resident Evil before, there are nods to the other games in like pictures you see on the wall or when you're reading a journal entry or in the way that it plays. Like a lot of the story is told through you picking up a journal or a scrap of paper. There's no cutscenes. It doesn't. There are cutscenes, but the story's not told to you like that. It's got that. If you remember Resident Evil 1 and 2, you would grab somebody's 2-page journal. You'd read through that. You get a little piece of like what happened, 8 months ago to them, and the only things that tie it to the original Resident Evil storyline are things that people who have played those will pick up when they're exploring and investigating. So not that I'm going to change your mind. You assign the value how you think you should, and I think if it ever hits that price point where you're willing to play it, I think you're going to enjoy it more than you think you will. I don't, maybe it's not worth $60 to you, but I think you'll like it. But some of those things, don't get hung up on them because it's definitely not it's in your daddy's Resident Evil 1 for sure, or Resident Evil for sure. It's definitely different.
Well, like Outlast wasn't great to me. What's the other one? Amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the other first-person survival one?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely action in this one. There's gunplay, and you get a knife, and
yeah, not amazing to me.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, there may be a price point where I'll be. It's probably going to take a combination of price point and mood. Because that's how I was with like 4 and 5. It was just price point and. Oh yeah, I want to try this today. So I tried it that day and then played it a little bit and then was like, yep, mood's over.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that's why I would never buy this at full price, because I'm afraid that that's exactly what would happen.
I understand. Yeah. I think I think in the right time you might enjoy it, but I get that. It's a great game. I'm having a blast with it.
No matter what happens, I'm sure it's no Life of Black Tiger. So.
Did you buy that?
I don't think anything is.
I did not buy it.
Gosh, I wish you just spent the money on that so I never had to hear about it again.
I think there was enough of a campaign for Sony to pull that maybe it happened.
That game's getting attacked everywhere.
I know.
Yeah, it really is. Right here on the Gamestitch Podcast also.
You should get it now before it is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want it that bad.
Yeah, you do.
It does seem interesting, but...
No.
Yeah.
No, it sure doesn't.
Yeah.
To me, it does. Crappy game.
that birthday game, it's getting ready to come out pretty soon. That one where evolution happens.
What?
Remember we watched the video?
Oh, yeah. The
couple
cartoony
podcasts
one?
ago? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's
it's one you were looking forward to.
yeah,
You're the
I'm
one who
pumped
turned
about
us
it. But
on
I can't
to it.
remember the name because I had all that NyQuil.
Yeah. I can't remember what it is either.
Is it the block one that came out? That's
No. This is
Something birthday. But you pick the place and evolution just happens and you just kind of watch it and help it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. It's like a 3-dimensional grid that's all blocks, and you play a spaceman floating around on it.
It's like a snap grid. I don't know that you're a spaceman. I don't know that you're not, though.
Yeah, it's got a little red spaceman. Yeah, I know that. And it's by some game development company that you actually are interested in. I can't remember who it is.
It's like
it is something birthday.
Yeah,
it's something birthday.
I'll look it up. You continue on.
Cyberman birthday PS4. It's not out yet.
Well, yeah, but they're gonna have an ad.
There is a trailer. It's true.
Yeah, there's a trailer. But it doesn't need one because it's going to be that damn good. Anyways, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I also picked up Flame in the Flood, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I might go ahead and grab that today.
I'll just tell you the dynamic theme is almost worth it.
Really?
It's good. It's just some crows and it just plays the music from the game.
So you have the option for a dynamic theme.
Yeah.
Oh, which, by the way, fuck you, limited run.
You didn't get one?
You didn't get a copy of Oxenfree?
Fucking 10:02 sold out.
Yeah, you can't mess around on limited run.
Well, I'm at work. I don't.
Oh, you got to be there ready to roll.
They should have had us get it for you.
I probably should have. You're probably right.
You didn't get them. You didn't try again at 6 p.m. when
I
they did the
did,
second run.
That's even worse. It's even harder to get them the second time around.
Keep your eyes on limited run because I guarantee you they held back 500 copies. They may toss them up again.
So
yeah, Matt's feeling good about them doing that too.
Oh yeah, it pisses me off, but I understand why they would do it.
Not so limited runs.
I'm gonna have to guess that birthday is not in the title of this game.
It is birthdays.
No, it's not.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds and I'm gonna find it.
Oh, you guys. While you guys are doing that, I just want to let all the listeners know that I got a tweet from Mass Effect this week.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
From the actual Mass Effect.
Yeah, the official Mass Effect Twitter.
You've been riding high on it ever since. So.
I have.
Yeah. If you're not following us on Twitter at game_stitch, we posted a screenshot of it because we wanted to memorialize the event for Dan. We're actually going to get it framed and gold plated for his birthday.
That'll look good on my wall. Sure as hell will.
You can put it right there.
I actually had to look at it a few times to make sure that it wasn't like some fake Mass Effect account.
Oh no, it's got the blue check mark, dude.
Yeah, I'm going back and looking, and I'm like, they got a shit ton of followers.
It's verified. It's a verified account.
So I'm going through, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yep. Now all we got to do is get Media Molecule to tweet over to Ryan.
They're busy working on the game they've been working on for 37 years.
That's at Dreams?
Yeah. Word on the street is that studio's about to get shit canned.
They just opened up. I mean, they have 2 offices now.
Well, I've heard rumblings from other podcasts and other sources that have a little bit more fingers in it than we do that Media Molecule might be next on the chopping block.
There's a lot of chatter that game may not even come out.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So the game is called Birthdays: The Beginning.
Okay.
Looks like it's $39.99. It's available for pre-order, and it's going to release on May 9th.
Mark the calendars.
According to this, so yeah.
Why
Keep your fingers crossed.
I mean, it looks like a really nice game.
Because it's full game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does look interesting.
Well, so games that are $19.99 are full games.
They're not this good though.
Yeah.
You don't even know if it's good. It doesn't come out until May. Don't give me that
the trailer
bullshit
again.
I know. I'm calling bullshit on that.
All right.
All right, we're gonna do something else fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you guys some questions, and we're gonna see who gets closest.
I didn't realize we did anything fun to start with. What's the first fun thing we did for this other fun stuff we're doing?
I switched up the order. Remember, I had Matt first.
I forgot. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second. I gotta find this email. I've been meaning to do this on the podcast for 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Jesus.
But it's fine.
Is this shit we're supposed to know?
Well, we're gonna talk about my 2016 on PlayStation.
Okay.
So
how many trophies do you think I earned in 2016?
Yours particularly?
Just mine.
2 Are we given a ballpark figure, or is it an over/under?
It's always Price is Right rules.
Okay.
I would discourage anyone from going $1 though.
230.
230 trophies?
Yeah. Ryan plays a lot.
Yeah, I know, but he plays a lot of the same game.
In 2016, Ryan platinumed like 3 games.
I'm just gonna say that's a good guess.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna say it's not quite that much. I'm gonna go 218.
It's 236.
Yeah,
It was a
wow.
really good guess. Yeah, you would have won both of them.
Yeah, dude. You got like 2 or 3 platinums last year.
Okay, how many hours do you think I played?
Oh shit.
That's tougher because you
I don't
play
wanna
a
do the
lot
math
more
to
than
break it down.
Just
yeah.
guess.
Well, the problem is that like a game that takes me 12 hours takes you 30. So
That's
I
fair.
don't know. 1,058. I don't even know what that adds up to, but
I think you went over, so I'll say 750.
Matt would be the winner. 949.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
pretty close, Dan.
even though I was closer.
Yeah, but you went
I
over.
went
It's
over.
Price
I
is
know.
Right rules.
Price is
It's
Right
over
rules.
under.
I
And
understand
the-
how that works. Fuck you guys.
And what is the most active month that I played PlayStation?
November.
Ooh. No. When did Uncharted release?
July? March? I don't remember. September? I don't remember when Uncharted came out.
I think it
Okay,
was.
they're running behind. I'm going to give you a hint. It's the first half of the year.
Really?
Yes.
I'll say March.
May.
Woo! Man.
What
This
happened in May?
Last one is winner take all.
Yeah, what happened in May? Uncharted happened in May.
Is that when it was?
I guess so. I'm just guessing. I don't know when Uncharted came out.
So now I have the top 3 games I played and how many hours I spent with each one of those.
All right.
So I
Dragon
think
Quest Builders.
you could probably guess number 1.
Yeah, Dragon Quest
Rocket League.
Builders.
All right,
Rocket
so we're going to
League.
start with number 3. What do you think the game is?
Stardew.
My third most played game in 2016.
Uncharted 4. He didn't play Stardew till 2017.
It's Dragon Quest Builders.
Okay.
And how many hours do you think I spent with that?
I have
Dragon
no
Quest
idea.
Builders, 60. That's too few, but I'm
we'll
going to
say
guess 60.
I'm gonna say 83.
52 hours.
Wow.
Damn.
We both went over.
I thought it was more than that.
So did
Me
I.
too. What do you think the second most most hours I spent with the game? And this one totally caught me off guard.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
No Man's Sky.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And
Wow.
you're not gonna get it. I spent 85 hours with No Man's Sky.
Shut up, man. Really? And you haven't even gone back since the update?
I was totally shocked when I saw this. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
And number 1's Rocket League.
Yeah.
Oh,
how many hours do you think I spent with Rocket League this year?
153.
You're not even in the right universe.
I'm gonna
Wow,
say
350.
You're still not there.
Let's see.
Dan, say 500.
No, I'm gonna say 465.
627 hours.
God damn, dude. Do you just turn that thing on and then put your console,
No,
put your
that's-
controller down?
It's never on, and I'm not playing.
That
I've
is insane.
played that many hours.
That is insane.
This
That
is
is insane.
it's a fun little email that I got from Sony. I know a lot of people are complaining that they weren't able to get that, and they don't understand why they're not getting some emails. I've read stories on other sites. It seems to be that back in the day there was a newsletter option that is different than the one that you can get now, and that is making other emails generate for some people.
Sorry.
So I know not everybody's getting these, but I thought it was fun to go over.
Yeah.
The top 3 games was cool because I would have never guessed that I played No Man's Sky
The
more than
hours you
anything
put in.
but Rocket League. Right.
Yeah. The hours you put in over 2016 are incredible.
It's okay. I would like to have clipped that 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
But
I'd like
it's
to know
all
where
right.
I'm at. Sony needs to make these stats available on your player profile.
Yeah, I don't know why these aren't just available. The email, though, if you guys wanted to see if you had it, it's called a look back your 2016 in PlayStation or with PlayStation.
Yeah, I'll double check later.
Mine mailed out January 19th. But this is getting a lot of pickup on different publications because some people got this, some people didn't, and the people that didn't are very unhappy that these aren't just available.
Yeah,
they should be just available.
That's a cool stats. You'd want to know.
Yeah.
But I thought it was something fun to kind of go over because I'm really that Rocket League number is impressive. Pretty proud of that.
Rocket League number is stupid. That's
627.
That's the majority of your gaming hours in 2016.
I'm thinking about getting a shirt that's got the Rocket League logo on the back and just says 627 on the front. And that only makes sense to me.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, 627 out of 936, dude. Come on.
Let's see.
Divided by 24.
26 days.
Yeah.
12 hours.
So you played, essentially,
26 and a half
it for
days.
a month straight.
A month straight. Does Charter know you've been playing Rocket League while you're at work?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Some people might be disappointed. I'm proud of that.
No,
I'm proud of
you
those.
should
I'm proud of 26 and a half days.
I feel like you're sad that you didn't hit an even 30.
I mean, there's always next year or this year.
That's true.
There is always this year. Get started, bud.
Yeah, get started.
Yeah.
If this is your first time joining us, this is the official Gamestitch Podcast, and welcome. Each week we gather around this internet, this world of the internet, this web, the World Wide Web.
Sure. Man,
And
that
we
NyQuil's hitting you hard.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I told everybody it's going to be rough, but we're going to get through this together. We talk about all the video game news that you need and care about, and we wrap it up with this bullshit that you don't care about, which is like the hours I spent with Rocket League. You don't care about them, but I do. Remember, This podcast is available at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time every Monday on podcast services around the world. And if you want to support us for this little show that we do, head over to patreon.com/GameStitch, and you can toss us a couple bones. If you don't have any bones to toss, don't worry about it. This podcast will always be free. But if you want to support us and have us do some new things, make sure you check us out on there. We have some goals, some rewards, some fun stuff over there for you. And we got an announcement.
Well, before we get there,
We don't have an announcement.
I did mean to mention that Dan and I had played the For Honor beta on PlayStation 4. The beta on PlayStation 4 this week. I just want to give everybody a quick little update. That game is still not very good, and it's still going to be for a limited audience. But we did ask using hashtag GSPQ this week if anybody was ready for the beta and if anybody's still looking forward to the game. Our dear friend Garrett Wade did write in and say that he's still looking forward to this game. And if anybody's going to be getting that on Xbox One, he's still very excited to play it. So if 2 or 3 of you out there are going to get that, make sure you hit up Garrett Wade at GWade289 on Twitter so that you guys can form a party. I'll stick to my original assessment, though. This game is still too complex of controls, and the combat's not good enough to support a full game. But the characters look cool, and the customization's fun.
Yeah, we talked about it. Matt and I talked about it. And we both played the alpha. We both played the beta.
Yeah.
It's too tactical for me. It's
not in a good way.
Not in a good way because of the tactical aspect of it. It makes the controls virtually impossible for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a me thing. I like to think it's not because I like to think of myself as I have a little bit of dexterity. But because of the complication of it, and I didn't find it fun.
Yeah. Its uniqueness is its flaw, 100%.
Yeah, that's actually a great way to put it.
Yeah.
What it brings to the table is something new. Unfortunately, that takes the fun out of the game.
You're right.
So
but, if anybody out there is still going to get it or playing the beta, hit Garrett up because he seems to still be excited about it.
And that's not to say that if you're interested in it, you shouldn't try it. I'm not sure that this was a game I was interested in, but it was a game that I guess piqued me a little bit, piqued my interest, even though I never had a full interest in it. I thought the ideas were unique, and I wanted to try them. I thought they'd be something good. Unfortunately, for me personally, they are not good.
Yeah, sad to say. Anyway, sorry, Ryan. Housekeeping.
We have an announcement. We have another live show coming February 25th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to give you guys a chance to be on with us, to join us. That's going to be live on the internets. Have we nailed down platform yet?
We're going to go Twitch on this one still, probably. So we'll be twitch.tv/Gamestitch for this particular live episode, and then we will make it available on YouTube 24 hours later. But I think the plan is with these live shows to do one close to the end of potentially the last weekend of every month going forward for 2017. We may switch to YouTube streaming for one of those, but we're going to run some tests on the side first to make sure that it's going to work. We know Twitch works, and so we'll probably stick with that for this one for sure.
Yeah, let us know if one of those is more convenient than the other. Maybe there's a way we can do both.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll be hyping this thing up. But February 25th, and that's not the only thing we're doing. We're giving away a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda that day.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anybody who tunes
Andromeda.
In. Yeah. Make sure
not
that
everybody gets one, but you do have a chance to win one. Let's be clear on that, Matt.
And just to clarify, it doesn't mean you're going to get the game that day because it hasn't released yet.
Right. We're actually going to ship it to you. So most likely the way that this giveaway is going to work is you're going to have to be present in the chat at the time that we do the drawing. We'll probably have some requirement earlier in the week also, like maybe you have to retweet the contest or something like that, or something arbitrary like that, so that we have a double check to make sure that you're not a bot that just showed up in the chat, but also that you're not just a bot that retweeted the contest. So you'll probably have to retweet and be in the chat and be participating, and then we'll have hopefully Gerald usually runs the chat sessions for us during the live events, so we will try to have him there to help out with participation and making sure that we've got a live person on the other end of the hook. And then once we assess who's the winner, we'll get your mailing information, and we'll send you a copy of the game on your system of choice. So we'll do PS4 or Xbox One. We're not going to deal with PC just to make sure that, we don't want to have to deal with system requirements and stuff like that. We want to make sure you can play it when you get it.
It's also important.
Standard edition also.
It's also important to note that you will be receiving that game on the day of release. It will not be coming to us first and then being sent to you, so you get it 5 days after everyone else gets it. You will be receiving that on the day of release.
And full disclosure, it's coming from Amazon, so if you want to see any pre-order bonuses that you'll be getting, head over to Amazon.com and check out their Mass Effect page, and anything that's included for free with that, you'll be getting that also.
Yep.
And this is because of you, the listeners. We've talked about doing stuff in the past, and Patreon is allowing us to do some of those things. Your donations are allowing us to do some of those things, and we wanted to find a way to give back, and hopefully bring some other people in. So tell your friends about this. I know you want to win it, but tell your friends about it. Let's get as many people excited about this as possible. Mass Effect, according to Dan's, probably going to be pretty okay. So it should be a really fun game for you guys to win. And if this is something successful, we'll look at doing it in the future too.
Also, I want to do a quick update on the Patreon exclusive reward that we did, the Patreon reward that we did for the playthroughs of our back catalog. I'm supposed to take that first. I'm going to be playing Gone Home on PlayStation 4 or PC, but I've had the flu this past week, so my plan was to have had it out by the time this podcast airs. Unfortunately, I've been very sick, and you may still hear I'm a little snotty, so I'm going to wait till I'm 100% before I actually put that together for you guys to watch. But it is coming, so I don't want you guys to think that we're dipping out on that.
And I'll try to have mine right after yours.
Gotcha.
To kind of make up for it a little bit. We'll try to get those out really quick, and then we'll get back on track. Remember, Matt's playing Gone Home, I'm playing Firewatch, Dan's playing something, and Gerald is playing Nom Nom Galaxy.
I'm playing Never Alone.
Never Alone.
Thanks for fucking remembering me, you piece of shit.
That game is forgettable.
That game is from 2011, so
it's forgettable too.
Yeah.
For some reason. Don't be
so
upset.
when you guys picked, what do you?
I still want you to play it. I'm just saying it's forgettable.
Yeah. No, I think you're gonna like it. It's just
Just the other day we were on the phone. Me and Matt were on the phone, and he said, "What the hell's Dan playing?" I'm like, "I don't know."
That's how it was.
Fucking guys.
It's forgettable.
Well, we're sorry.
See,
man.
this is why I don't have fucking friends.
You're gonna like it though.
Yeah.
I feel confident you're gonna enjoy that game.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna forget you ever played it too.
That's also true. It's gonna happen.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah. That's why they're games that we've never played.
Right.
So we already forgot we had them.
I don't forget what I've played.
Ryan's gonna like Overwatch. That'll be the best one.
It's cool. I'm not playing Overwatch, so I'm playing Firewatch.
Oh, sorry, Firewatch. Sorry. I can.
So who took NyQuil last night?
Yeah,
exactly.
I just said I have the flu.
I'm coming out of the fog. I got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty good.
That's good. I'm
I'm heading
glad.
out of the tunnel.
I'm only on my third cup of coffee this morning, so
I'm on my
getting
second
there.
monster.
Your second monster.
My second one, yes.
Working on your third kidney stone, though.
No. See, I get the absolute zero ones. They're good for you.
that doesn't. No,
They're good for you, excuse me?
I've never heard that.
You want to back up to they're not as bad as the normal ones?
That's what I tell people. No, these ones are good for you. They don't have any of the additives.
I
Yeah.
get these at Whole Foods. They're fun.
Right.
Trader Joe's.
Tell me again
right
about
here.
light beer and light
Yeah.
cigarettes. How they're good for you.
Light cigarettes.
Yeah, like a Marlboro Light.
The shorties? The shorties? You're talking about the
Like
little ones?
The ones with the bigger filter. Yeah.
Bigger filter, smaller tobacco?
No, I firmly believe if you smoke cigarettes, you should go big or go home.
I
think
agree
you're
with
right.
that. Like, don't half-ass it.
No.
Yeah, go 1941 filterless.
Shit,
I
just pitch the
actually- I
filter
used
right
to.
off.
I used to.
Yeah.
Filters are for pussies.
You goddamn right they are.
That's so gross. I can't imagine just taking it straight like that.
Yeah. That's how they used to do it, man. That puts hair on your chest, I think.
It puts tar in your lungs, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Well,
among
where
other
do you think
things.
the hair's coming from?
Actually, it may not because none of the crap's, all the crap's in the filter.
Smoke
I
it
mean-
backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the tar definitely is coming from the tobacco, but I think that like I think that the like formaldehyde and stuff, that's what's in the filter. I mean, it's also on the tobacco.
Here's what
That's
you
the
don't
preservatives they use.
Here's what the here's what
Formaldehyde.
here's what our lying media forgets to tell you. It's all lies.
Oh, okay. Fake news.
Right,
Conspiracy,
fake news.
alternative facts. Come on, Dan.
Is it
You've been
actually
hitting us with these all week.
because you're ingesting all of these things that are supposedly harmful for you? You are actually slowly becoming immortal.
They sure did
Jesus.
forget to tell us that.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Is that why people are living longer? Just
Yeah, because
badass
they
immune
smoke.
systems.
Yeah, I drink some motor oil every
You try
day
to
just
tell
to
me
kind of
most
keep
of
it going.
all those baby boomers didn't smoke? They're living forever.
Well, yeah,
That's because they haven't worked.
that's probably that.
They've rested up.
Is
Yeah.
that why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get a fucking job
No, I completely made that up.
if you're a boomer.
By the
that's
way,
fine.
Full disclosure, Dan's full of shit.
I swish my mouth with bleach every day.
you're building up a tolerance, bro.
Yeah,
you
dude.
spit it out? You're not doing
Just-
anything then.
No, you
Just
got to
swallowing
swallow.
like
You got
a-
to swallow just a little bit and spit the rest out.
Right, exactly. That's how you keep your breath fresh.
I'll take it all.
And that's how you.
Ding!
That's
Take
how
it-
You
you
I
got
t-
butter teeth.
see. You're building up your tolerance. It's good though.
Right. I chase it with a
Pretty
glass
soon you
of
won't be able to be
peroxide.
poisoned by bleach.
I
Ryan's
chase it with a
teeth are
glass of
soft.
peroxide.
Now,
Same-
you can swish your mouth with peroxide. You just can't do it every day or your gums will fall out.
You can drink it too, just with some ice.
You should not drink it.
Squeeze a lime in there.
Just a
Do
little
not
bit at a
drink
time.
peroxide.
Again,
Hydrogen peroxide. will-
Moderation.
Do not drink that.
What I do is I take some baking soda and I drink that. I make a slurry, drink that, then I pour the peroxide straight down my throat.
You make the volcano inside your body. I got it.
Yeah. Then I vomit uncontrollably.
That's how
Can you
get
make
out
the
of school.
volcano inside?
I don't think so. I
You
think you
should.
can make your stomach explode.
little
sure.
red
Right, you
food coloring fucks everybody up, doesn't it?
Right.
You'll need the food coloring if it's eating your stomach lining.
Sitting
It'll
in the
be
middle
red
of
on
a
its own.
Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Why's it got to be Chinese?
Because guess who ain't paying for this buffet?
Why not?
It's
This guy.
$9 for 8 people. You can't squeeze that out.
Not giving away copies of Mass Effect, I can't. You're welcome, listeners. Now I got a volcano everywhere we go.
Right?
Let's jump into the topic of the show, the breakout, the thing we're going to talk about most. We don't have a name for this segment.
Yeah, man. I wish Tots wasn't taken. That's real good. Tots,
Right.
Tots, Tots. Somebody else is already using that, you bastards.
The topic that we're going to spend some time on.
Yeah. What about we need what we need is a word like tots, but not tots. Like
You really hung up on what someone else is doing.
yeah, I know, but I like that. I like that a lot.
What the hell does TOT stand for?
Topic of the show. Tots.
Oh. Okay, moving on.
Topic of this show.
Moving on.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
Oh,
we could call
God.
it TTWAGSTMT.
No.
To Twitterless. Rolls right off the tongue.
The topic we're going to spend the most time. That we're going to.
What about? Is there a way to make it tits?
No.
Topic.
In the show.
Topic in this show.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Topic for the show.
What about like topic roundtable?
Trit.
TRT.
Okay,
Can somebody write in on Twitter
Can we
at
stop?
Game_Stitch and tell us what to call this damn
segment.
thing? Name this segment. Hashtag name this segment.
We need a name for the segment where the story that we're most excited to talk about.
We're our major topic of the show.
Major
Don't let
topic
us
of the
down.
week.
Yeah, don't let us
Just be
down.
the topic of the week.
What if we call it Major Tots?
Topic of the week isn't bad. The toe.
Yeah, topic of the week sounds really suit and tie though.
Yeah, it really does.
Like it's time for the topic of the week. I'm not against that though. I'm not against down and uptight
Yeah.
and stuffy.
Yeah.
Like
You're turning corporate every day.
And we could
This
just
is
do
your
like
topic
Nintendo's
of the
press
week.
conference.
This is your
Yeah.
topic of the week with the Gamestitch crew.
Right.
Don't like it.
So you remember Leslie Benzies?
I do.
I don't, actually. I didn't know he existed until just now.
Okay.
Yes, you
Dan,
did,
do
because
you
we've
remember
talked
him?
about him before. Way to
Okay.
pay attention to the podcast you're on, Matt.
You know, I mean, I pay attention to the news, but
We're
I'm
going to call him
be
the Benz for the rest of this podcast to make it easier.
We're going to what?
Call him the Benz. So
Benz.
the Benz left Rockstar North. He was,
That's a stupid move.
well, maybe. He's the former president of Rockstar
Well,
North.
we don't know that he resigned or was forced out or was fired.
He went on sabbatical. He came back, or he never came back. He's currently in the middle of a nasty lawsuit with Rockstar over Grand Theft Auto 5.
He ain't gonna win that.
He is the reason that GTA Online even exists. He was the one who pushed for that. Hauser Brothers were not wanting to include that, and he has shaped most things that Rockstar has done.
Yeah, we pushed for GTA Online too. We just weren't involved with the company, so big whoop.
It's not really the same thing.
No, totally
I'm
different.
just saying, you can't claim an idea.
Anyways, he started a new studio. They've got 2 offices set up, one in Scotland, one in LA. They've got around 30 employees already, and they have teased their first game. It's called Everywhere, and as the name suggests, it's an open world game that allows the players to go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
not
do
gonna read through
everything everywhere, right?
Yeah, basically. Nothing is off limits. You can read the full article over on GameSpot. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I want to read a little bit to you. This is a game about giving the player enormous amount of freedom, with enough possibilities and just enough constraints to keep you constantly entertained, at the same time feel like you're actively shaping the world around you. What does it sound like to you guys?
That sounds a lot
It's a little GTA-ish.
like Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah.
So,
Specifically GTA Online.
Yeah.
let me read this next quote to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get... Hold on. I bet I can get... This is not Grand Theft Auto.
Quote, everywhere is very different from GTA.
Okay. So I paraphrased then, but essentially...
There may be parts of our games that include satire, but the tone will be very different, and at times our players will be in control of how the tone is set.
Maybe it's more like Saints Row.
Right.
Or Just
maybe,
Cause.
Yeah, or maybe it's like any... So what this brought up, and this sounds fantastic, and I'll buy everywhere, I'll just tell you right now. Yeah. But what got me thinking was... Are the big studios, are the startups trying to make these awesome things? Are they out of ideas?
Well, I mean, I'd like to start just real quick. You guys know how I feel about sandbox games. I think there are too many sandbox games, and I think a good sign that the industry is a little bit out of ideas is that a lot of them are coming out, or they're riding that bandwagon at least. But nothing pisses me off more and tells me that a game studio didn't have an idea is when they make a game that I have to create the story. They can't tell me a story. They just give me all of their dev tools and make me play around in that.
But not focusing too hard on what I just read. In general, are they out of ideas?
That's hard to say. I think everything's derivative of what came before it. For better or worse, you get a lot of good inspiration from the things that were successful before you. I don't think that game studios are out of ideas, though, because things like I Am Bread and Cat Lateral Damage are coming out. I think the big game studios are are stuck in not willing to take a risk on something that is not the common tropes of video games. So not out of ideas, just scared to take a bigger risk than what they do, if that makes sense.
Before you talk, Dan, I do want to say, obviously, we're not talking about indie studios. We see the creativity there. Those are the games that we love. But we're really talking about big box studios. Are they out of ideas?
It's really hard to say. A lot of the games that we find now are very similar. In a certain sense, as far as they have plenty of ideas of what they want to do with the game. What they don't have is a package to wrap that idea up in. And I think that's where a lot of our similarities from games come from, is the fact that, this seems familiar. There's a familiarity.
Who had NyQuil now?
Yeah, I
dude.
guess.
Man.
They're but you understand what I'm saying. A lot of what we play is very familiar to something else. And I'm not sure that is so much because of a lack of an idea. Like I said, I think it's a lack of what to do and where to go with that idea. And Matt, I think that kind of goes back to where you were with risks they're not willing to take. If they just opened up their minds and did the things that we've seen companies are able to do, if they weren't so strapped by the publishers, I think this might not be such a problem. But
Resident Evil 7 would have been another Resident Evil 5 and 6 if it hadn't have been for the success of PT, Outlast, Allison Road, stuff like that. So it's 100% risk. The new ideas are out there, but we're not going to see them out of the AAA studios until they're proven. So I think
they're familiar on purpose.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think that they have good ideas, and I think that they get
right.
But
they have to. I think what Matt's trying to say is that these great ideas that the companies do have to get shoehorned into a proven formula.
Yeah, and I think I can't imagine that the three of us sit around and have good ideas not working for a game company, and that there aren't, in a studio like Rockstar, there aren't people sitting around saying, "Hey, what if we change the game? We made a horror game that hit all these notes that we like, but we make it different than Resident Evil, than The Last of Us, all this stuff, or let's make an adventure game that's different." But that idea, when they put it up against something like Grand Theft Auto 6 or Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever their next big title is, they go, this is going to be the thing that keeps making us money, and we're just going to have to parking lot this until we have that development time available, because what we have to do is satisfy the masses. So I think it's more of that. Like, they still have those great ideas. They're just sitting in the parking lot somewhere until they have the opportunity, till they're waiting for a launch title or something that's funded by a bigger publisher instead of in-house or something like that.
And I know there are examples, you're seeing it with Dreams to an extent with Media Molecule and Sony, but that game is going to fail when it finally comes out.
Unfortunately.
And it is, by all accounts, a very new experience, a new thing. Sea of Thieves is one that has me very excited on Xbox One, but that buzz isn't really there for that game.
Right.
When they do try something new, this is kind of what you see. You see that formula doesn't work. When Call of Duty is your game of the year, as far as what does that tell those studios?
There's your formula.
Yeah, people want the same thing.
Yep. Is there a way to make this? They do look for ways to expand off that idea and make it different. Mm-hmm. The problem is there really is only so much you can do with that idea.
Right. Well, that's why indie gaming and that's why it's so important for console developers to push indie gaming and indie accessibility. Because you see it with smaller titles and how niche gameplay and ideas can make it to AAA level once they're proven, and then you can change what AAA gaming is used to seeing. You can change what the masses are used to seeing, but you kind of have to baby step it up now. You can't be the first person to come out with Wolfenstein anymore, right? It's hard to be a large game release and be the first of its kind anymore. Because you need that lower level proving ground of people supporting that idea first, for better or worse. I think it's probably a good way to measure the industry and to bring about innovation and change. But to Ryan's point, what it does do is it kind of pushes AAA studios into appearing stale for long periods of time, like with Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty just got wall running and jetpacks and stuff like that in Infinite Warfare, but it took Titanfall before that, right, which is a smaller game on a single console, to make that popular in multiplayer, and it took PlanetSide on PlayStation 2, it took throwing back to that to get that introduced into the big game, so what seems like innovative for Call of Duty has been done before.
Bits and pieces, yeah, but I feel like there's something else going on with why the Call of Duty franchise didn't pull the trigger on that, because they were doing that in Halo Reach.
Yeah, but there
was jetpacks in Halo Reach.
You can feel the fear from the big studios, though.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see it and it's not just in Call of Duty; it's in everything that comes out. The fear is there when they spend hundreds of millions of dollars making a game.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can see it in a game like Grand Theft Auto 5, right? How long did it take us to get GTA Online? We had Grand Theft Auto 3 that probably wasn't capable, but was 100% a world that, had it been multiplayer, would have boomed, right? Granted, on PlayStation 2, multiplayer was limited, but we did have it with Metal Gear 3. On PlayStation 3, Grand Theft Auto 4 needed multiplayer like nothing else, and we had games like Saints Row doing it there. We had open world experiences doing multiplayer on PlayStation 3. It took till Grand Theft Auto 5 came out before we got it there, so it had to be proven at a lower level first.
And I assume, with this new studio, the Benz, he's got two of his former colleagues from Rockstar there also, that allegedly started it. And there's no real details on the studio yet. They don't even have a name. But I assume that this Game Everywhere is where he wanted to take Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Right.
But because of the risk reward, it wasn't worth it. I just wonder how many good ideas we miss out on because it's not safe. We talk a lot of shit about how stale and how, I guess, how the market just refuses to change, but a lot of that is our fault. And by that I mean most people's inability to, accept change, and they want the same Call of Duty, they want the same Battlefield, they want the same Gran Turismo,
or expand upon what they know.
Right. So, we've kind of put ourselves in this position, and if you don't play indie games, then you don't even realize these other things exist.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just okay getting them, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm starting to feel like the industry is in a weird place when it comes to innovation. And even though everyone's shitting on the Switch right now, like, they may be the only company who doesn't care. Like, Nintendo may be the only company that just does their own thing, and formula be damned. But they also can recoup their money with where they do that. With the Mario Kart to Smash Brothers, it allows them to do something like Mario Maker, so that they can make those games allow them to do stuff like Splatoon and Mario Maker, and they're not new ideas, but they're totally different for Nintendo.
And that may be another reason that we don't see a lot of the third-party support for the Nintendo products, is because Nintendo is able to take those risks and innovations because of how insular they are.
Yeah, and that's true too.
Internally, it's easier for them to risk that money.
Yeah. But it's just weird because when you and Sony, I think, does a okay job at it. I think Microsoft has done better recently. But I think Nintendo has always been the king of marching to a different beat.
Yeah, I mean, that's the appeal of Nintendo, right? You look at the Switch, you see all the negative press on it, and you go, yeah, but the argument, the kind of blanket of, but the games are going to be good, and part of that is the games are going to be innovative. You're going to see some stuff there that are coming from Nintendo first party that you're not going to see coming from Sony and Microsoft first party. So whether or not the console is a success, you will see things there that you are not going to see in other places, and that's part of the appeal of any Nintendo console, for better or worse. But it's the same thing that makes Microsoft and Sony's independent libraries so appealing.
Right. And it's this time will tell. 1-2 Switch, we made fun of it a lot, but there's actually nothing like it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a terrible idea, but somebody's got to try it so that we know that it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, they're one of the few, and maybe they can inspire these, with the success that the Switch may or may not see. Maybe it inspires some of these bigger players, but my guess is that it won't because it's not safe.
I think it's probably time collectively for the industry as a whole to start treating Nintendo as an independent developer and not as a studio giant.
As
right?
a competitor to Sony and...
They're not on the level as Sony and Microsoft. Ryan's been kind of banging this drum for a long time. Maybe not to consider them as independent, but 100% that they're not trying to directly compete with Sony and Microsoft, and they shouldn't. I think the mindset of the industry and media like us, commentators, pundits, however you want to put it, I think part of what we have to adjust our attitude for Nintendo is we got to treat them like if they were that game company, right? We don't expect them to succeed, but we expect them to put out something that's unique and innovative. And I think that changes a lot of how people view that company and what they do.
ARMS is totally weird, but I don't know anything else like it.
If that came out on PlayStation 4 and it was put out by, Lard, right? If it was put out by like some little independent studio like Lard, people would buy that up.
But if it was put out by Studio Santa Monica, people would shit on it. Like,
right.
That's the problem. It would be the same game, but
because there's an expectation in place for...
Yeah, there's an expectation when you buy... Which, like I said, Sony has really taken risks with the PS4 because it almost feels like Sony had a plan, a roadmap for the PS4 that got completely screwed up when people bought it.
Right.
I mean, everything you've seen about the PS4 tells you that they thought they would be in a different place at this point.
Right.
With the PS4 Pro and the VR, like these weren't things they needed to do.
Right. But there's got to be some, I think part of it is, it's the same thing Ryan's been saying for weeks, expectations. If our buddies over at SMG Studios put out 1-2 Switch, right? If that was their first game on the Switch, and they're responsible for one more line and what was it? One more dash, I think. They have a lot of great games. Thumb Drift. Good friends of the show. Great company. Go check them out. SMG Studio on Twitter. Download some of their games. 100% worth it. But if 1-2 Switch was their game on Nintendo Switch, we would be singing the praises of SMG Studios right now. Like, hey, you did something innovative with a new technology.
But Nintendo doesn't get the pass because they're big.
Right, but I think that's on us. I don't think it's... I'm starting to think that it's not on Nintendo. I'm starting to think it's on us. It's on Kind of Funny. It's on Giant Bomb. It's on Married to the Games. It's on us.
And that's something else you've got to be careful about is when you're a lot of the information that we get from these things, and we're part of this. Don't get me wrong. It's just as much our fault as anyone else's. Granted, we're not as big as some of the others, but that's really beside the point. Is
yeah, I mean, we set
when it comes. It's the media that is the media is the games media is looking to make money. They're looking to keep their audience. They're looking to expand their audience. In order to do that, you have to cater to that audience.
Yeah, you're right.
And a lot of your bigger places where you're getting your big reviews, and this is not a judgment of any of them. I'm just using them as examples. IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, Eurogamer. Yeah. Those are the larger gaming media presenters, and they have to cater to that audience to still maintain relevance, to still be what they are. So I don't know if where you're getting this information is from the media is detrimental or not, but each and every gamer knows what they like. If you just like the same old Call of Duty, that's fine. If you're looking for something different, that's fine too. Don't necessarily trust the medias to make that decision for you. Do your own research. Check it out. Watch videos. Watch trailers.
Well,
go to the sites and see. That's not to say to disregard the different medias altogether, but don't let them be the one who are making that choice. You have got, just like anything else, you have got to research those things yourself. You have to take some accountability for the choices you make, whether it's gaming, whether it's financial, whether it's economic, whether it's what job you have, whether it's who you're dating, just like anything else. There has to be some accountability in the choices you make.
Well, I mean, as much as we're a self-informed group, we're also an echo chamber, And sometimes, if Ryan Walton has a differing opinion from Greg Miller, has a differing opinion from, name your pundit that you like. Sometimes that isn't well received, even though it's equally valid. And so to me, that's where it becomes, it's our responsibility as we're informing gamers as a whole, as much as it is their responsibility to absorb as much information as they can and form their own opinion, so that when people come out and they say, hey, the Nintendo Switch, we don't think it's going to do that well, it doesn't become a bash train. So that when a game like Everywhere gets announced, people don't come out and instead of being receptive to it and say, let's see what they do, we don't come out and say, Jesus, another Grand Theft Auto, another Saints Row, another sandbox game that nobody's going to give a shit about because it doesn't have the Rockstar emblem and the Grand Theft Auto title. It's not Red Dead Redemption. Nobody cares. As much as we can criticize and self-criticize, we also need to be able to inform and self-inform. And I think self-information, as much as it lies on the independent gamer, it also lies on that echo chamber effect. And somebody's got to make a little ripple somewhere.
We've already had a great example of that in this very show that we're recording now. Matt, neither you nor I enjoyed the For Honor beta. Mm-hmm. We know that our buddy Garrett is super excited about it. What we're not saying to Garrett is now, don't buy this because it's shit. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that we are individuals. We as individuals did not like this. Here is why.
Right. Well,
that doesn't mean he's not going to love it. Mm-hmm. But he's got to do some more research, his own research, to find out if it is going to be what he wants. Or he doesn't. He can just go out and buy it, and either he loves it or he doesn't.
Bingo.
But either way...
That's the way to do it, you guys.
That's how I do it.
If you see something you think you like it, you buy it.
But either way, the point is that we are just two individual opinions in a sea of opinions.
So for best results for myself, I try to find people who have similar gaming tastes that I do. I try to see what they say about a game, but I totally just buy whatever I want because the only way I'm going to know is if I play it. And that's kind of ultimately where I land. If you want to run down this rabbit hole with us on whether or not big studios have lost their creativity or are out of ideas, hit us up on Twitter at @game_stitch or email the show podcast@gamestitch.com. We're not going to spend too much more time on it, but I think it'll be interesting to see what you guys think because there are ideas out there, but they don't make it to us. And then whether that is our fault or their fault or no one's fault, let us know what you think.
Yeah, use hashtag GSPQ. If you're listening to this show, there's a tweet out on it. Go ahead and respond. Let us know what you think. We'll be sure to touch base with you next week on the show.
That's right, we'll touch you.
We will touch you.
Touch your base.
Ew.
I tend to not touch.
Let's move on to some headlines.
I'm a non-toucher.
Square Enix made a big surprise announcement this week and revealed that it reached a multi-game partnership with Marvel for an Avengers game or games. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
That was pretty big. No, and I think it was pretty big news. One thing I have been seeing a lot is a lot of people have, I don't know if I guess they're making hypothetical guesses or sometimes jumping to conclusions. A lot of people are calling it a fighting game. I don't really think, personally, I don't think that's what we're going to see because that's not really Square Enix's forte. I don't think you're going to see Square be a part of this huge property and jump into it with something they have no idea what to do.
I could probably lay that rumor to rest even more when you talk about the two studios that they're going to have working on it, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
Right. Yeah, I think we're going to get an action-adventure title, 100%.
You're going to have to wait till 2018 before you get any more information because that's the next time Square is going to be talking about this.
Yeah.
Interesting, a weird partnership, not who I would have guessed that Marvel would have thought, here's who we need to get.
No, but it could be 100% successful. Yeah. I mean, look at Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I think it offers some really interesting things to do, and it almost goes back to the conversation
That's what I was going to say. It echoes what we were just talking about. We're already scared because why would Square be making these games?
Right.
It's uncomfortable. Right. Is it going to be Final Fantasy, but with the Avengers? I don't know.
Yeah. Could be Rise of the Tomb Raider with, where you can jump between characters? Who knows? Maybe
or it could very well end up being a fighting game. I just don't think that's what we're going to see.
It's probably a match-free tile game.
That's exactly where
That's
my
the
brain
hope,
goes
right.
every time it's a new
Right,
idea.
that's the hope.
Is a match 3 tile game where the story plays out in a cutscene
Right.
above you as you
that
successfully
kind of bubble pop
complete
thing
your
where you shoot the bubbles up of matching colors.
Man, nothing like a good bubble pop.
I'll tell you, the match 3
I think it's going to be like
style.
Avengers Crush.
I like that.
Ooh, yeah.
Avengers Crush.
Yeah.
Hey,
You just match 3 villain faces to crush.
you crush them, and then up top, your guy's fighting.
It's Hulk smash.
Your guy's fighting the villain. If you match 3 Iron Mans, he switches out up top.
So what you're
tag
saying
in.
is kind of like a mobile fighting game where you get the fight happening, but it's based on how well you do in the match 3. So it's a fighting game and it's a match
what's
3.
crazy
And
is
every time you've got something to drop out, all of a sudden the Hulk drops down from the bottom and just Hulk smash.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
But you
And then
pick
disappears
your
back
hero and you pick your villain. If you match 3 hero tiles, that hero jumps in and helps for a minute up top in the fight. If you match 3 villain tiles, that villain jumps in and helps for a little bit. So you've got to play it. If you're going to have to get these villain tiles, you got to have a hero tile ready to go to counteract. It's not bad, but you guys can't take it because we just said it.
Hit us up, Eidos and Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix. We are
Hey,
willing to.
and we don't even have to wait till
pitch that idea to your
2018. We're ready to go today.
Yeah.
We've got some storyboards. I think you're going to be excited with what we have.
Artwork's done,
Yeah.
you know,
Got
because
notes.
Marvel exists.
I got
so.
notes.
Got a whole
Ready to
binder
go.
full of notes.
And the only thing that we need on the table from your side is a 25 by 25 room where all 4 walls are whiteboard.
Also, a check for $250,000
Yes.
made payable to me.
Actually,
You
you could
can't
save us
post-date
some
it, it's
time
fine.
and just split that 3 ways.
Just make it payable
Fuck
to
you,
me.
Ryan. I don't want to hear it.
Make it payable to me. I'm going to cut you guys 50 each.
Can we do an amount that is divisible by 3? Can we do
No, I'm going to keep the
750,000?
extra. Whoa, you just jumped from 250 to 750?
$250 a piece, brah. These ideas aren't free.
Apparently not. If you wonder why we don't have innovation, it's because we're too expensive.
Right. How about 280?
Let's do
We'll split it
300,000.
3
We
ways.
each get 100,000.
They wouldn't give us $2.80.
That's true.
$3. Listen, we're undercutting ourselves already. We've gone down by 100,000%.
Also, I want grape Kool-Aid, but I want it to be clear, no coloring in it.
I think you mean grape drink.
No, I want the Kool-Aid brand. I don't want to give me some generic stuff.
I
But I want no coloring.
black
I want it to be
cherry Jello jigglers.
I want it to be clear.
I
in
want
the
some
office ready to go.
absolutely zero monsters. That's all I need.
Yeah. Pot of coffee and black cherry Jello jigglers.
I haven't
please.
had Kool-Aid in a
And
long time,
only-
but I had some grape the other day, and damn,
Yeah.
that purple
Also
sugar
want-
water was good.
A bowl of nothing but Haribo lemon gummy bears, please.
I want a bowl of the marshmallows that come in cereal.
Like Lucky Charms
Yeah,
marshmallows?
But they make. I thought they made
They
those
do,
now.
but I want a bowl there. They make your monster too, Dan.
With-
You got to request that.
It's true.
Yeah. Ryan also needs a spray bottle with skim milk so that he can lightly dust his
I don't want any. I don't want
marshmallows.
any milk with those. I want to eat them dry.
Jesus. We need a EMS staff so that when Ryan starts choking to death, there's somebody to do CPR.
Yeah, because I'm not
They'll
saving them. Fuck
dissolve.
that.
They're just sugar.
Not fast enough, brah. Because you're gonna be cramming
Oh my
them
God.
in
It'll
your
be
face
kind of
by the
fun.
handful.
We'll get to watch you choke, but not die over and over again.
I'm done. I'm
Great.
done with you guys.
All right. Till next week.
A
I
new
get it.
Mass Effect Andromeda trailer arrived this week, and I'm sure Dan was pretty excited.
Yeah. Didn't they tweet you this week, Dan?
Oh my
personally?
gosh.
They dropped your name in their tweet. They said Daniel.
Are we going over that again? I covered
We
that.
just
called you
talk
by
about
your
the
full
trailer so we
Christian
can move
name.
on.
You guys gave me shit. Trailer looks awesome. It does
That's
present some questions for me, but I'm not going into that. Not as far as the game, as far as the lore of Mass Effect, I should say. Just some things I picked up on because I watched it over and over, and I paused it and screenshotted things so I could see them closer.
My God.
You're a maniac.
Yeah, you are.
Psychopath.
Did you take
So-
notes?
I did not take notes, no. But super excited. I don't need an army. I have a Krogan.
Yeah. That was the tweet that got Mass Effect on board for Dan. If you hadn't heard already, we're going to be giving away a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda, your choice, PS4 or Xbox One. Make sure you tune in to the February 25th live official Gamestitch podcast. I'll have an episode number next week once I suss those out.
Sus.
Suss them out.
Not to be confused with SAS.
What, Ryan, did you pass out? You've been taking more NyQuil?
No, I haven't. I'm just letting it all soak in.
Super excited for Mass Effect Andromeda.
I'm not, and I just wonder if they've done enough new.
You're not getting that, are
Mom,
you?
I like to have it. I don't think I'm gonna pay $60 for it.
You weren't excited. You weren't excited for any of the Mass Effects, so this is.
Let me ask you this: would you be willing to pay $47.99 for it with Amazon Prime?
No.
Okay.
But I just wonder, just to circle back around again, are they doing enough? And it's hard to know because they really haven't shown a ton about this game, and I don't know.
I don't think they have to do much. I think they have to put out a Mass Effect game.
That leads back to what we're talking about. Is innovation dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, there's a place for innovation. Yes.
It's not in an established series.
Well, not
like
just
Mass
that.
That's how they make their money, though.
That doesn't necessarily mean that every game has to have some form of innovation. Either.
Yeah, innovation has its place when it's necessary, when it makes sense.
I mean, there was a time when BioWare made KOTOR. KOTOR was innovative. Baldur's Gate was innovative. The first Mass Effect was innovative.
But we shit on Telltale for making the same game all the time.
I don't.
Where is it allowed? Where is it not allowed? Mass Effect looks great. I'm sure it will be great. I haven't seen anything to want to bring me in yet.
Okay, but making that comparison to Telltale, I think, is unfair. The last time there was a Mass Effect game was 5 years ago. The last time, and you get 4 or 5 Telltale games a year.
Yeah, this is
I'm not
true.
saying they're the same thing, but I'm saying we shit on companies for doing the same thing, but then these big companies, and it's not just EA, it's not just BioWare, they do the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I think it may be based on
and we
frequency,
line
though.
up to bomb.
When you have a stack of 11 games versus a stack of 3 games.
Sure, I mean they're coming out at a much higher rate, but it in theory is this, it's the same idea in that we don't innovate too much because people like what we have. People like the Telltale games. They'd stop making them if people weren't buying them.
True.
So they don't have to change anything because it's not broke, even though they're kind of broke with Telltale. It's this. Everyone's kind of complacent because you're happy enough with Mass Effect. They don't have to change anything because you're happy enough with it, and that doesn't pull the new gamer in who hasn't played a Mass Effect. But if they take too many of those risks, maybe they lose people like Dan. Like, that's the problem. It's such a give and take that they're almost in a position where they can't go crazy.
But they can't do either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
where they get shit on regardless of which they do. I understand that.
I think that's. I mean, I think the difference in what makes the game compelling can be like, is this universe developed so that there's so much to explore that should it span 11 games, it doesn't seem old because the game mechanics are solid. And what you're really playing the game for is the development of the universe and the characters.
And to be honest,
kind of the same way that you watch movies,
the Mass Effect games and the Telltale games, as you made that comparison, actually share a lot in common in that their driving force behind them, the driving force of why a lot of people are playing them, is because of that mythology and the stories they tell.
But should Telltale make a game that is, well, The Wolf Among Us, right? That's a great example. It's unique unto its own, has a great story and universe, right? If they were to keep expounding upon that instead of making Batman and
people
Walking
didn't
Dead
buy Wolf Among Us.
Right, but if Mass Effect, the first one, wasn't a huge hit, Mass Effect 2 was a huge hit. So if The Wolf Among Us was enough to build a following and they just kept building on that universe, I think there would be less flack for them for doing the same thing over and over, as if they take that formula that worked on one game and then they make all of these other iterations of different stories and different IPs. I think that's what makes it too much, right?
Like if all the
if all the Telltale games were in the Wolf Among Us series, you wouldn't think, man, they're overdoing that. You would think, man, all right, so the Wolf Among Us is unique unto itself. It innovated for the title, and now I care about the characters in the universe and the story versus, hey, here's this system, and now we're going to apply it to Batman, and now we're going to apply it to Spider-Man, and now we're going to apply it to Marvel, and now we're going to apply it to Jurassic Park, and now we're going to apply it to Legos.
I guess the thing is I keep waiting for, as someone who doesn't play Mass Effect who kind of wants to, is I keep waiting for them to show me something that makes me want to play it.
Yeah. I mean, BioWare did this with Mass Effect 1. It drove me crazy. KOTOR 1 is that's the new BioWare system, right? It's based on Neverwinter Nights 2's system. So they made Neverwinter Nights 2. It was a great system. They refined it. They made KOTOR, right? Then they sold that off and they made KOTOR 2. It's the exact same system. And then Mass Effect 1 came out, and it is the exact same system, exact same story arcs. All they did was change the art from KOTOR 1 to Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2, they changed the fucking game. They took that base that worked in Mass Effect 1 and KOTOR 2, and they made a new game from it. So they took something that was proven, they built a player base, and then they made their innovation. And Mass Effect 2 and 3 are their own things, 100%. It's a balance.
Mass Effect 2 actually took some heat for some of the changes they made. People that were used to that system didn't like that change. They still played the game.
But they had that base established. Yeah.
And then in the third game, they kind of met halfway.
But now if they don't do enough, 100%. Or if they do too much, like there is no win. And I guess as a developer and as a publisher, you have to decide which audience you're trying to appeal to, because you either have to appeal to your hardcore fans, and be okay with not bringing new people on, or you have to be bringing new people on and not afraid to lose that hardcore.
And that's the gamble. But I mean, once your game hits a certain level of success, who you lose is going to be compensated by with how many more you pick up by making it more universally appealing while still expanding your universe and story. Which we're getting into another like rabbit hole discussion, but you get what I'm saying.
After years of development, the rumored cancellation, and a mess of just a deep dive into development hell, Prey is finally coming out. It got a launch.
Good or bad?
It looks awesome. May 5th is now the date that it will launch. They had a new reveal trailer to go with it, showing the date, and Bethesda is hitting on all cylinders right now.
You know what my favorite part of this game is? This trailer, anyway, is that your main character's name is you.
I'll tell you what I like about Prey is that game was... People played that game like 17 years ago and they all thought it was awesome. But there was clearly something wrong with it, and Bethesda just said, fuck it. And started over. Like, there was something wrong enough with that game. They had to build a new game, and it had to be as good as people remembered the old game being that they had played at E3.
Which wasn't good at all.
And it looks like, by all accounts, that they've done that. And this is what should have happened with The Last Guardian, Final Fantasy, which, I mean, neither one of those games are bad, but those games should come out and excite people in a way that I don't think that they did. And I think Prey is exciting people. Like, people everywhere are talking about Prey.
Yeah, which is weird because the first game was fine, but it wasn't like anything to write home about.
It wasn't. So it was decent.
But I think you can credit Doom for people talking about Prey.
Yeah, Doom and Wolfenstein 100% are responsible for.
They're doing those.
Bethesda puts out a game.
They're doing those games right, so you have to assume they're doing Prey right.
Damn. Doom is so good, man. So good.
You probably forgot that this was going on, but the video game voice actor strike is still going. 100 days in, no sign of relief at this point. And we'll see how, now we're going to start getting into the time where it's actually affecting games. Yeah. The stuff that was already there didn't affect it, but now we're really going to start seeing what implications this has, if any.
I think you might start seeing some well-known actors start either using their own name or using some pseudonyms and still doing work, or you may see a new wealth of new voice actors.
A new batch.
Come around. Like our own shirtless
This
Dan.
is actually the second longest strike in Screen Actor Guild's history, and Deadline's got a great article about it. So check that out.
Yeah, that was a real good article.
If that's your thing. It's interesting. It's a pissing match. Like most strikes. No one wants to give.
Kind of the way they go.
I know Matt will be really excited about this. According to an unconfirmed rumor, Rockstar might be considering porting its detective game L.A. Noire to the Nintendo Switch. It's just a rumor for now, but NeoGaf is lit up with this rumor.
You know I hate this game. You know I hate you for making me buy it.
I know you hate the game. I know you're not excited about ports, and I know that you're scared the Switch won't have anything but old games, so I thought this was a perfect story.
Yeah, well, L.A. Noire, maybe I need to give it a second chance, and maybe the Switch is the way to do it. I don't know, man. That game just
was good.
Did not do it for me.
Good game. The Switch is the ultimate way to play it.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, what if you're playing in the living room and you're like, hey, I need to take a dump. Just go.
To me, this seems like something that VR would be very successful with, but maybe the Switch is the way to do it. Maybe the Joy-Con is going to give me, like, maybe I can really feel the pin when I'm taking notes. I don't know.
Oh, man, you can feel the vibration of, like, the ballpoint.
Yeah, you can feel it, like, scratching the paper. Like, it just really feels like a pin, except for it's a Joy-Con.
Called 3D vibration. What's that called? 3D feedback?
Yeah,
3D feedback.
Yeah.
I don't know. This week we started a new hashtag. It's hashtag AskGSP. So if you have a question that you would like us to read on the air and answer, go ahead and write in using hashtag AskGSP. This week, our good friend and associate of the show, Gerald Schneider, also known as Hoffen Show on
exclusively known as
social
Hoffen
medias.
Show.
Exclusively known as Hoffen Show, wrote in, with all these remastered and re-release games coming out, is there a game that you guys would like to see remastered, and I'm going to add, or ported to a current gen console? Anybody feel free to start.
Well, you know what I want?
The Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah.
That's not a bad choice. I for one would like to see games like Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, or Metal Gear Solid, maybe Metal Gear 3, get some HD updates. In particular, I think that Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 for the MSX would be great to get. Like, that's an 8-bit game that kind of... That's in more of a realm for me that deserves a remaster and an update than a game that, like, came out on the PlayStation 3. So, yeah, I'd love to see Metal Gear for the MSX come out in 3D using the new engine from Metal Gear 5. I think that'd be great. Good story to tell, too.
I don't want anything boarded.
No remasters, nothing.
I mean,
he wants new stuff.
So I'm in a unique situation in that I have pretty much everything that I want to play. You know, I have all the old systems. I have the stuff from growing up. Right. I like the way games come out. I like that you can't get them everywhere. I like that they come out for the system they come out for, and I just don't need them anywhere else. There have been tons and tons of great games over the years that I would love to be able to play, but you know, just like, so Dark Cloud was on sale on this last PSN sale that's happening.
Mm-hmm. We talked about
Dark
this.
Cloud, one of my favorite games, and I watched the video for it, and I'm like, wow, this looks like shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens when you go back. You could remaster it, that would be fine, but you'll never capture the magic that you had the first time. And you could just straight port it over and it looks like dog shit. So it's, you know, it's one of those things, like, cherish the memory that you have with it, but going back's never the same.
Yeah. I mean, all games, most games, would you guys not agree that they're a time and place kind of a thing?
Sure.
A game like Super Mario 3, that's time and place. If you want to go back and play Mario 3, you really should bust out the NES, blow in the cartridge, and play that, you know, square dog bone controller.
I agree with that, but damn, does that game hold up. That game's so
100%.
good.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know, pick your game, like RC Pro-Am, right? Like, to really experience that, you should play it on the original NES.
I mean, that's always been my thing, and that's what started me collecting games to start with, is I wanted to play them the way they were intended to be played. And if that's with a square controller digging into your hand, then that's how it should be played. And there is something that you cannot capture. You know, it's a little different when you're going PS3 to PS4, but there's something you can't capture when you're going way back if you're not playing it the way it was intended to be played, in my opinion. That's why Nintendo's got they have such an opportunity when it comes to, like, re-releasing these controllers. If they take an NES controller that you can plug right into, you know, whatever, your tablet, they don't call it that, into your Switch, and then you could play with an NES controller or SNES controller or a GameCube controller. Like, those games are already inherently better because you're playing them the way they were intended to be played.
Right, you kind of capture that magic.
Fair enough. I'm actually playing Mass Effect 3 right now, and it doesn't really look bad.
Well, you're going from last generation to this generation. Right. That's not crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
so I'm sure a remaster is not necessary. However, I still want one.
I don't know.
For Mass Effect, because I'm that guy.
Yeah. If you have a question you want us to read on the air and answer, we'll give you a shout out. Make sure that you tweet us at @game_stitch. Ask your question. Use the hashtag AskGSP. Important to note, that is also a hashtag that is used to inquire specifically towards George St. Pierre of the UFC. So you're going to get mixed in with that, but we are also answering those questions.
Yeah, we'll answer your UFC thoughts. Just let us know that it's for us.
I believe
Every time
that
you
we
say it, I
answered
think of
one.
George St. Pierre. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, we answered one this morning. Let me jump in there real quick. George, let's say you're able to make a comeback in Toronto, but unfortunately lose your return. What's your next step? We went ahead and replied to that first thing this morning. It says, at Jax Joxon or Yoxon, I'm not
It's
sure. I want to give you a
it sounds
shout
cooler.
out. Jax_Yoxon, Jocson. We went ahead and replied to you. We don't know, but we're going to give it our all. And don't forget to tune in to episode 211 of the official Gamestitch Podcast this Monday.
Yeah.
So thank you. You're welcome.
And I think that's definitely, it was for us. I think the question was definitely for us. What people don't know
Seems
is
right.
sometimes people call the three of us George.
Yeah.
And
Together, only as a group, though.
As a whole, sometimes they refer to us as George, so we will be fielding anything that is addressed to George using that hashtag.
I mean, just for show, we answered another one earlier this week. Says, when are you going to come out of retirement and knock out Conor McGregor? We replied, we're coming out of retirement this Monday with a new show and a tongue lashing for Conor McGregor. Ask your questions using hashtag GSP. So you guys go ahead and have fun with that.
Good.
We will too.
That's true.
Also, Conor McGregor, no tongue lashing. You're a pretty badass
you're
dude.
all right.
By the way,
we'd like to have you on the show.
By the way, if
so
George
go ahead.
St. Pierre shows up at my house wanting to know why the fuck I'm answering his questions, I'm pointing him in your direction. And I say that because I'm the closest to where he lives. So I'm where he's coming first.
If Conor McGregor or GSP would like to respond to us on the show or by email, you know how to contact us. We'd love to have you guys on, even though it's not topical at all.
Yeah, even though it has nothing to do with the show or really us, I'd actually like to do a one-on-one interview.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just pick your brain.
3-on-1
Talk about Mario
interview.
3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
GSP.
They might
Maybe
love
cheese.
Maybe cheese. All right, let's move on. There's another good one for Matt. If you want to get your hands on that Pro controller, seems like you're going to have to do some shady stuff because they're sold out everywhere. They actually, GameStop opened up their pre-orders. They sold out in minutes. Best Buy did the same, sold out in minutes. Amazon opened theirs up earlier in the week, also sold out within 30 minutes. No word on whether or not we're getting any more. If for some reason you can't wait to get your hands on this Pro controller, GameStop does have bundles still available, so you can get this starter kit with the Pro controller for $100, or you can get a copy of Zelda with the Pro controller for $130. As of this recording, those are still available.
I wish Nintendo didn't do this, but this is that thing of like they kind of are an indie company, right? They only have so much that they put out. That's what makes it feel indie.
So what we talked about,
but you know, consumers still consider them to be a large company. So when they underproduce like this, it seems like what they're trying to do is inflate their through numbers, which I don't know if they're consciously trying to do that, but that's what's happening.
Well, so we've talked about it in depth that Nintendo is bad about creating that buzz through lack of availability.
Yeah.
What this did, and I'm a consumer's consumer. I mean, I buy shit. Yesterday when I was pulling the news for this podcast, I read the story and I went in a fucking panic. I went in a frenzy.
Did you get one?
But it took everything I had. I went to GameStop and I was like, I need a case for it anyways. I need a screen protector for it anyways. Let me see how much a screen protector is. Oh, a screen protector is $20 by itself. I'm only paying $30 for this whole bundle extra to get the controller anyways. Like, I need to go ahead and pop on this because I'm getting a case for $10, which seems like a good deal. And I was like, I got to calm down. I got to calm down because I don't need that controller day one because I can put the Joy-Con in the comfort grip and I can be fine.
Yeah, I think the comfort grip looks like one of the most comfortable controllers ever. That controller to me appears great.
But I full-on panicked when I thought I wasn't going to be able to get this and other people were going to have it.
Yeah.
And
you're like making calls. You're like calling people on the black market. Like, how am I going to get my
check
hands
them both?
on
I'm like,
these
what if
things?
I just cancel my pre-order because I know I'm going to get the game and I do get them both through GameStop? Like, I went through every scenario. And I'm like, I don't even have to have that controller right now. I do want it. I'm going to get it. The Pro controller looks like the way to play the Switch. But I don't have to have it right now.
I'm a little disappointed that their quote-unquote Pro controller looks like a standard controller for every other system.
It's like see-through, too.
But I get what
like
they're
see-through.
after. Yeah.
It's got that 3D,
yeah, you like
3D
that
rumble
stuff. The Pro controller has 3D rumble? That's crazy. So you can hold that controller, but it feels like you're holding a cup of ice.
It's just a cup of ice.
You can feel when they pour the water into it, Ryan. Somehow it gets
$70
heavier.
cup of ice. still cold when
it
you open it.
increases its mass. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that controller looks like the way to play, but I don't have to have it right now. The other thing that kind of turned me off from this is I didn't want to cancel my Zelda pre-order because it's cheaper to buy it through Amazon as a Prime member. And I didn't want the carrying case because it's Zelda branded.
Yeah.
And I'm a nerd, but Zelda's not my jam.
Got it. You're not that kind of nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a super nerd. You're just a regular
Like if it had
nerd.
been Mario branded or something, I probably would have popped on it. But the idea that like even the
something a little bit more socially
it
acceptable.
comes with these little shells that pop over the Joy-Cons just for added protection there. These Joy-Con condoms, and they are Zelda branded.
Condoms.
Yeah, Joy condoms. They're Zelda branded, and I'm like, I don't need that either.
All condoms are for Joy, just so you know.
That's not true. Let us know what you use them for. At @game_Stitch. #condom use. We won't answer any of those questions either, just so you know. We won't answer any of those, but we'll read them for sure. So like I said, at the time of this recording, those bundles are still available. Check them out if you're that interested, but you can get them both at GameStop. $100 or $130 if you feel like you can't wait to have that Pro controller. IGN has a cool interview up with the CEO of Obsidian Entertainment. He talked about a Fallout game that the studio conceived but never released. We're not going to really dive into it too deep, but it's a cool story. It's a cool read. Go over there. It should be pretty close to the top page.
Yeah. Also, we tweeted out a long form 1.5 hour documentary from the guys over at Obsidian that kind of chronicles their making of Pillars of Eternity. With the announcement of Pillars of Eternity 2, 100% worth a watch if you really want to see what goes into game development and what those guys went through with having to fund a game on Kickstarter and being understaffed when they started it. That is super cool. I have a brand new respect for what goes on at Obsidian.
That's something that Double Fine is really awesome about too. If you check out Double Fine's YouTube channel, like you can really get a feel for what it's like to have to pour everything into these games.
Yeah, they do. I've started to watch both of them, and I haven't finished either of them. But it's interesting stuff. It's blood, sweat, tears, pain in the ass,
right?
Red tape,
and it's the same thing. No Clip's doing maybe on a little bit of a lighter side. No Clip's doing some awesome documentaries on kind of just what it's like. So I think now more than ever we're getting a really good look at inside of studios. And inside of kind of the turmoil and the excitement and just the grind that is game development.
Turmoil. Good word, bro.
Yeah. Good word, brah.
Surgeon Simulator.
NyQuil has worn off.
Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread developer Bossa Studios has announced...
It's Bossa.
A new game, Deck Splash, created out of Game Jam. Deck Splash is a 3v3 competitive skateboarding game. And... you don't see the rider, you just see the skateboard. It reminds me of like the Tech Decks, the finger skateboards.
Yeah, the fingerboards.
Yeah.
Isn't there already a game like that on PlayStation Network?
I don't think so. So this is, think like Splatoon Turf Wars, but you paint it by skateboarding and landing sweet-ass tricks. The sweeter the trick, the bigger the splash. But us three, we'd be playing together against 3 other bros to try to paint the turf.
I think when you board, you're a dude, not a bro.
You're a dude, bro, when you board.
I think surfers are bros. I think boarders are
board's
dudes.
just a board. Sometimes you put a wheel on it. Sometimes you don't.
No, there's different.
I'm not cool enough to comment.
Completely different subcultures.
Same culture.
Different.
Skinny jeans and board shorts, all the same. The reason I'm telling you about it is because you can sign up for the beta of this game. The early access. Head over to Deck Splash. Let me make sure I'm right on this. I think it's decksplash.com. It might
not to be confused with Dicksplash.
Right, which takes you somewhere way different. It might be Deck Splash of the game.
I'm gonna just Google it real quick so we can get this information.
Right at the beginning, it says, "Do you love skateboarding
Deck
but hate
Splash
people?"
Game. It's Decksplashgame.com.
And there is a board that looks like a hot dog.
Oh man,
yeah.
You know I'm in.
Check out the trailer for it. It's a cool looking game. I did sign up for the beta. They did not give me an option for platform, so you did have to sign up on the PC. But it's definitely something to check out. I think it would be fun for us to play together. It'll probably be hard as fuck to control because Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread are a real fucking treat.
just a bore.
Right, a real fucking treat. So this will probably be harder too.
Do you love skateboarding but hate people?
No more.
Say no more.
Exactly.
Nice.
Look at this hot dog board. You seen it?
Yeah. This one's a cop.
Yeah, it is. You a cop?
Oh yeah, it's 100% Splatoon with skateboards
and no people on them.
I know people.
It is not even like trying not to be Splatoon. It looks just like Splatoon.
It looks great. Be sure to follow us on social medias. We're all at game_stitch. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Matt is at Goddamn It Matt. And our friend Hoffman Show is at Hoffman Show.
Spelled just like
he'll
it
be known
sounds.
by no other name.
Yeah.
No.
From this point
He
forward.
tries to convince, but it doesn't fly.
Yeah. Check out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can listen to the podcast on there if you want. This live show is coming out February 25th. We'll make its way over there once we finish. It'll also be live on twitch.tv/Gamestitch. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Gamestitch. We're giving away a copy of Mass Effect. You take nothing else away from this episode. Remember that. Mass Effect, Andromeda.
Andromeda,
Yeah.
I believe is how you say it.
I just like to do anything that pisses Dan off about this game.
You guys disgust me.
Yeah.
Anything that makes his eye twitch about Mass Effect. Calling it a clone, telling me that they don't innovate. Anything I can do just to really piss him off. Because I know how long he's waited for this game. What if it got delayed? What if it delayed right now?
Then it gets
That'd be
delayed.
tough.
It is what it is.
Don't act like you wouldn't go put a
That would
hole
be
in the
tough.
wall.
I wouldn't. I'd be upset, but I wouldn't put a hole in the wall.
What about someone else's wall?
No, I wouldn't. No.
You would just walk in like a Costco and just punch right through?
At this point, if they delay it, there's a reason for the
Yeah, it's
delay. I'd
broken.
rather wait and
Game's
have
no
a
good.
good game come out.
Broken.
They're not putting it out that way. It's fine.
We're going to give away a copy of this on Xbox One or PS4, your choice. We'll have more details coming soon, but make sure you follow us on @game_stitch so you know what's going on Twitter. And I think we'll have more info on next week's podcast for sure.
Yeah, there will be more info every week until we get to that point.
It's called a build-up, folks.
No doubt, bro.
It's called a build-up.
No doubt.
Anticipation. The climax is when we give it away. Right?
How weird.
Yeah, that's when you let it go. That's true.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Nothing?
Not to be confused with
No, it's
Frozen.
fine.
Not to be confused with what?
Frozen.
No, mine is
Let
to be
it go.
confused with it.
I'm not singing Frozen.
Frozen fanfic?
No.
Whoa.
Frozen
that's
fan.
going.
Who does Frozen? Do you do Frozen fanfic?
I do all fanfic. There's not a fanfic out there I don't like.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, if you want to read some fan fiction, you'll realize just how fucked up people are.
How come fan fiction is never just normal fan fiction? It's always about like the characters banging
That's
each
the only
other.
kind I'm looking for.
Right.
The erotica.
Like they love something so much that they just want all the characters to bang each other.
That's how real life works. I don't know if you know that or not. When you like something, you want them to bang.
I guess I'm not quite there.
I mean, it doesn't sound
You don't
like
like banging?
Do you write fan fiction, but clean fan fiction? That's just called a sequel.
No. Right.
You're just writing another story for it. But you know
Well,
it.
bang. Okay.
Yeah, but you know in the real sequel you get, they'll never touch. And you need them to touch.
Unless it's Twilight.
Oh, you know how much probably nasty Twilight fanfic is out there? Just
Oh, yeah,
dirty
dude.
fan fiction. Glistening for a different reason.
Actually, I think
Ugh.
that's how the 50 Shades of Grey started. Was the author of those wrote Twilight fanfic, and it turned into that.
We can't confirm or deny that. This has been
I'm
episode
pretty sure I read that somewhere.
2-1. Maybe you were reading fan fiction where in an alternate universe they
It's
hope
on
that
the
happened.
internet,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, dude, bros. Maybe reading skateboard fanfic about
Where
Jet Set
two
Radio.
skateboards bang.
Right.
Is that where two skateboards bang?
Now there's the third skateboard. You figure it out.
Ooh.
This has been episode
stuff.
211 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for being here, ladies,
Yeah.
Yeah, folks.
folks.
Folk.
Yeah, don't let us put you in a box.
Folks.
You be who you are.
Gentle folk.
Gentile or aggressive listeners. If there's any like raging listeners out there,
Raging.
like to put a hand through a wall when you find out your game's delayed. Do it.
I know nobody like that.
You think no one's ever punched a wall with a delay? You're wrong. I'm gonna go punch one now. Next time I hear a delay, just prove a point.
For what delay though? Nothing. We don't know what's been delayed.
Just the next time anything gets delayed.
I'm sure there's something.
Hashtag wall punch.
Okay, you have to video it and post it on Twitter.
You could hashtag GSP on that one too, and it'll make sense. Because he punches, folks. This has been episode 211. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Good night.
Good night.
Over and out.
Go Pats.